All right, folks,
Yeah.
welcome back in. Handicap Sports Podcast. Took a little break last week, but we're back and better than ever this week. Bottom shelf, we got Ronnie Overs. Looks like he's in South Florida. Top right, top beast from good old New Jersey. I'm up here, top left, Manhattan, New York. We're back this week. Big sports week this week. NBA Finals start tomorrow. Memorial starts tomorrow. Golf tournament up in Ohio, Jack's Place. I'm going to start off with some NBA Finals talk. Early leans. I know Miami's in Denver's in game 1 and 2. Do we think Denver's going to take both of them at home? Do we think Miami's going to have that split? What do we think in these games 1 and 2? Because they're vital part of the series. What are we thinking, RK?
Well, it's a tough one because you have Miami hard, the 8 seed beat, they made it to the finals as the 8 seed, so it's very hard to say that they're not going to do it. I can see them coming out of there with a split. If they win it, if they do win a game, I think they're going to win game one. Denver hasn't played in like a week, but yeah,
What's
Denver's a
the
team.
matchup going to be for Joker? Do you think it's going to be Bam on him? You think they're going to? You think they're going to try a bunch of people on him?
Well, it's
He's
gonna be Bam, and he's gonna kill him. But
he's going to if you thought he wasn't eating in the previous series, I mean,
But
this series, I don't see how he's never really guardable.
who was guarding him on the Lakers, though? No one really. I think Bam's a good defender.
Anthony Davis was guarding
Come
him,
on, come
and
on.
then they went to Rui Hachimura at the end of game one, and everyone thought, "Oh my God, we got the answer." I don't know if you guys listened to part of my take when it came out yesterday. Michael Malone, Nuggets coach, was the guest on part of my take.
Oh wow.
He said, I listened to the interview today. He said that they were dying. The Nuggets team was dying laughing in the locker room when the media said that the Lakers figured out Joker by putting Rui Hachimura on him. No respect to Rui Hachimura. He's had a great playoffs, but he said nobody has an answer for Nikola Jokic. And if you think that he was pretty much averaged a big triple double in that Lakers series, now he's got to take Adebayo, and who comes off the bench? Cody Zeller. Please,
Yeah.
if you
I,
double him, you're done. If you play him single team, you're done. I'd be surprised if the Nuggets don't win this in five. I think Nuggets in five.
I agree. I
I
agree
don't,
with
I don't
all
think they
the.
give up a home game with the
I
altitude.
I agree with all those takes. Everything with Joker, what Malone said, but I think that like this matchup, I think Bam is like a perfect guy to guard a guy like Joker. Good defender, good rebounder, can move his feet. Joker's obviously going to expose him, more times than not. But I think Bam's a guy who could maybe limit Joker. He's a good defender.
Listen, you
He's a good
got a guy like
rebounder.
Joker's he's one of the smartest guys in the league, let alone
Yes.
at that position, and I don't see it. I don't know who's going to stop him. I think that the only way of beating Denver is you need some of the other players to play really poorly. I don't think Joker will play poorly, but they
You
have
think guys
who
like
they have.
Porter will
They
have to
have
play poorly?
Porter. They have
Murray.
Murray. These guys are all playing great. I don't know how they play when they haven't played in a week. When they've
I,
been off for a week.
That's true.
It's very hard to predict how they're going to come out. But I think Joker will still get his. I think that I like I like his total point rebounds and assist number. I think it's about 50, down from where it was like 54 against the Lakers. Big
Oh,
difference.
that's the line for game one.
I think it's around 50 or 50 and a half.
That seems low for him.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm trying to
Um,
think who else they have.
Murray.
I mean, a bunch of guys. Caldwell
I'm
Pope's
trying to
playing
think
well,
who else
shooting
they have
threes.
that can, who Miami has that can guard him. I don't know.
Miami.
Maybe Alonzo will suit up.
He's done his
Suit up. Yeah, Alonzo Mourning. He's the man.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Pat Riley. They said they watched that game together. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say,
No,
Jake?
no, go ahead.
No, I was
I
gonna
was just-
say, I definitely recommend if you want just looking a little deeper into the Nuggets, listening to that Malone on Part of My Take.
I gotta listen to that.
He talks about he was I didn't know any of this. He spent some time with Jokic in Serbia, just kind of getting to know him and his family. Jamal Murray, I believe he's Canadian. He went to Canada with Jamal Murray, and they went to a Raptors playoff game last year, a couple years ago, just to kind of experience that big time playoff vibe earlier in his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a real players coach, and he seems like he has a great relationship with all of them. And like what you guys were just saying, I think the only way the Nuggets lose is if Miami really double teams Jokic, doesn't let him get his points, and they can't hit shots. If
They're gonna do that though. They're gonna do that.
KCP, Bruce Brown, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, they hit shots. At least a few of them hit shots in every single one of those Lakers games.
Yeah.
And that's why they swept them. The reason why I think Nuggets in 5, I think most of them will hit their shots, but I can see there being a game where they go pretty cold. Martin, Vincent, Robinson, Strus, they get hotter. We'll see. But, I mean, if Martin on the Heat, I mean, did you see the
Oh, he played great.
Did you see the Eastern Finals MVP voting? He lost by 1 vote.
Yeah, he probably should have won it. He probably should have won it. And I'll tell you this thing. I know you guys like the Nuggets, and I think a lot of people are just counting the Heat out. I think Denver hasn't seen a team like the Heat all playoffs. Relentless, scrappy, tough, rebounding, a Pat Riley type team, and he got these players who are all undrafted for this main reason. They could play in the playoffs. They could compete for championships. I think people are counting out the Heat, and I think they have a good chance of winning the series. I don't think it's going to be 4. I don't think it's going to be 5. I think it's going to be more 6, 7, and I think they're going to test them tough. Spo's a great coach.
Good chance. So all of a sudden, everyone loves Spo.
I
mean, you gotta love.
Not to. I agree with you.
You gotta think I
gotta give him the props.
Just unreal what he's doing.
But I gotta give him credit.
They said this is the 3rd highest favorite to win a series a team's ever been in the finals in NBA history. I don't know about NBA history. I just think in like the recent era. The number 1 was the Warriors in 2018 against the Cavs. They were like minus 1,000.
You think that switching gears for a second, you think that who's the Celtics coach, Mazzulla?
Mazzulla.
You think he's going to get fired?
He's out.
I think they part ways with. I think Jaylen Brown. They're going to part ways with him.
You surprised the Doc Rivers got fired?
He needed to go.
When's Tibbs going to get fired?
Who they get? Who the Sixers get? Nick Nurse.
Yeah,
they did.
Solid.
The Knicks just let Scott Perry go.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Perry. I'm talking about Tibbs.
I mean, maybe they're cleaning house. Maybe that's just step 1. I don't know how much house you can clean, but I mean, as long as the Knicks keep 11, that's all I really care about right now.
Yeah, he's the most important player to the team. I don't know. I don't really care what we do with Jules, honestly.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens, but yeah.
What's everyone's predictions? Mine's Nuggets in 5.
Heat in 7.
Okay.
Nuggets in 4.
Wow. Okay. Let's see what happens. That's the NBA Finals.
That's a bold one.
Tomorrow.
I mean, I don't know.
The Nuggets played an 8 seed, a 4 seed, a 7 seed, and an 8 seed.
I just think the Heat are just a winning team, winning basketball.
Yeah, no, they're a winning team, but
sometimes talent is,
what happens if the Nuggets come out and they just put the clamps on Jimmy buckets?
Who's gonna do that though?
They got the players to do it. Gordon is a wild man.
Yeah, he's gotten a little bit worse, but he's starting to pick it up a little bit.
This Joker is a really smart player.
He's a very smart player.
I don't know if you guys realize that.
No,
Malone said Malone was on PMT comparing him to He said he's like,
I
you
don't
guys think it's funny, but he's loaded like LeBron. How
I don't even
smart?
know. Well, I don't know. That may not be a compliment, but I don't.
On the basketball court.
I don't know if like, if Joker's playing chess, I don't even know if Bam's playing checkers. What would be below checkers?
Backgammon.
I mean, no, that would be above checkers, but that's
War.
where I think he is.
War.
But yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow night, game one. If the in my opinion, if Miami's going to win one, it's going to be game one.
I agree with that.
Denver's been
100%.
sitting around, but they're
Yeah,
very.
we'll see what happens.
Yep.
We'll see what happens there tomorrow. Game 1, NBA Finals in Denver, Heat Nuggets. Should be a good one. Switching gears a little bit, very, very nice golf tournament this weekend. Elevated event, invitational type tournament. We're not going to have the big field like we used to have, like we usually have. Jack's Place, Muirfield Village in Ohio, one of my favorite courses on tour. He tried to replicate it to Augusta. Very hard fairways to hit, have to hit the fairway. Rough is very penal. Green and regulation percentage is very, very low. It's way below tour average. Big time emphasis on the second shot here. You need to be dialed in on the mid irons, got to be dialed in on the long irons. Around the green play comes at a premium here, an absolute premium. Very small green complexes. The second shot is huge. You're missing the green more times than not. Around the green play is huge. Putting's putting. You can get hot with the putter. It's going to be bent grass. But another thing very similar to Augusta, par 5 scoring is very huge here. So you got to be able to score on the par 5s. He tried to make an exact replica to Augusta. But we got the big names, Rahm, Scheffler, Rory, Xander, Cantlay, all headline. I know me and John were talking earlier. I think, it's a great spot for Cantlay once again. I feel like every week it's a great spot for Cantlay. He's won it here multiple times. He's in good form. Was there anyone else, JK, that you wanted to point out other than Cantlay?
Who are the three defending? Who's won at the last?
You got Billy Horschel 2022, Pat Cantlay 2021, John Rahm 2020, Pat Cantlay 2019.
Who won it? So who won it last year?
Billy Ho.
Billy Ho.
Oh, I thought for some reason I thought a live guy. Maybe a live guy has won it before.
Bryson won it in his his big coming out year.
Mm-hmm. Jack just views those guys as not even golfers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, John, also in 2021, people forget about the Rahm COVID year. He pretty much won that event, but he had the COVID and they had the W.
Right. That was ridiculous.
So Rahm pretty much Rahm loves this place. You're sure he's going to be very, very.
And he's going to be very pumped to make a statement. He hasn't had the best couple weeks.
Yeah.
Totally.
So he's up there. I don't think. I was listening to Rory's press conference earlier today. It seems like the guy is so uneasy. He said he's never felt more nervous over the ball at the PGA Championship. I mean, he did finish like T7, gained like 5 on approach, but I don't know. I can't back him right now. He's just in the mental state he's in. Speaking
of golf, 3 of us have teed it up a couple times over the past couple days. That wasn't bad.
No, that was a good
Everyone's
time.
trying to work on the game, getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
Big Father's Day tournament coming up.
Oh yeah.
See what everybody has.
Trying to go low. That's the name of it.
Trying
to go low.
You guys are both showing glimpses of greatness.
Not like you. I've never seen RK's game in the way it is right now. I mean, that guy's
the guy doesn't miss a fairway, bro.
Doesn't miss the fairway. GIRs like it's going out of style.
Literally.
Can't believe. I mean, the guy's playing 3.
Around the green play is prolific.
Yeah, I should be scoring better then. But no, the golf game is good. I was listening to going back to Memorial for a minute. I was listening to an interview that Jack was a guest on Annika's radio show, which is on the Golf Network and Sirius Radio. She does a show, and I guess he was saying that it's very dry out there. So usually it seems like I guess there's usually some rain in the forecast. I don't believe there is any this week, so he's thinking it's going to be faster than normal. It's not going to be able to play a soft course, so it should be pretty good.
Yeah, Furman Fast.
Should be a should be a good tournament. He was talking about some of the changes he's made. I mean, the guy's a wild man, Nicholas. He was talking about all the different golf courses
Yeah,
that he's
they renovated
building.
it in 2021. He made it
Yep.
longer, different green complexes. He narrowed the fairways, which it was one of the big things, but just the pure length in the par fives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you were targeting this week?
I don't really study it, but when you know if you go with what you're talking about, you know it's probably going to be a big name if it's if it's consistent with who wins courses like Augusta. You know you're going to look at Rahm, Scheffler, these great players.
Cantlay.
I guess so.
There's certain.
Cantlay is due. He's due
He's
because
so due.
he's got the new caddy. He just seems to not be able to get it together. I'm trying to think who's
Your
ready
boy,
to kind of jump out.
your boy's in this, Cam Young, but I don't think it's a good spot for him.
Yeah, Cam Young hasn't had the best few weeks. I'm going to back off of him, which might be a good reason to jump on him. So I'm backing off on him because I'm the kiss of death.
It's very. I feel like golf this year, and maybe not for picking winners, but there seems to be those certain guys, at least from what I've seen or what I feel like. A lot of people have been very, very consistent in being in tournaments, such as like top 20s and top 10s. Like obviously you got your Scheffler Rahm duo. That's pretty much like your pick at that point, but the value kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Victor Hovland's one of those guys. He's bound to be in the tournament the way he's
right.
playing.
He's right there.
You got Jason Day is a type of guy who's been playing very well. He's bound to be in the tournament. You got a guy like Terrell Hatton. He's been playing well. Ricky Fowler hasn't really shown the winning side, but Ricky Fowler's been playing better golf this year.
He hasn't really contended.
You're right. He's not. You don't see Ricky on the first page of like in like that bottom corner of your.
He'll make his way up on late Sunday.
He's pulling the Rory at a major thing. Like Rory at a major will finish tied for fourth, but he'll just go super low on Sunday after he shit the bed the first 3 days.
Can you see Homa doing anything this week?
He's not in.
He's not.
He's not playing.
He played last week.
Taking a week off. That's a bad week to pick.
You caught a nice little top 10 for him last week.
Yeah, it was a settled bet, but it was okay. Better than losing. I like actually when I think about some of the players. He's playing well. I'm gonna probably take a good look at Hatton. I think he's gonna play well this week. He's been playing pretty good, right? He's been like top 20, top 10 here and there.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got to watch the anger. Just the anger is like.
He needs a little anger. He'll be there.
I was looking at also Hideki at 35-1.
Yeah, Hideki could be the guy. He's been playing pretty good.
Good at the Masters. Has a great around the green game. He's a little wayward on his driver, but not too much. And he's just a great ball striker. So he's at 35. And then we kind of get into the Lowry at 55. It's not a bad play as well. Lowry's pretty good at these type of courses. I don't like Morikawa's short game is just abysmal. It's disgusting.
Something's off with him this year. Something's off with him.
100%.
So there's a lot of guys that stuff is off. Something's off with Rory. Something's off with Morikawa this year. Cam Young hasn't been great. Something's off with JT this year.
Last month, Cam Young.
Fitzpatrick hasn't really been doing much.
He won. Fitzy won.
Yeah. I don't know. Sam Burns 45-1. That's not a bad look.
I mean, Sam Burns 41, Russell Henley 45-1.
Yeah.
That's wild. I like Russell Henley though. He plays well at the Masters. Been trending a little bit. He's a good DFS play.
Put Hatton on your team. What kind of value are you getting with Hatton? What are his odds to win the whole thing? That's 38-1.
Hatton's odds to win it all is 25-1.
Oh,
Wait, Jacob, is there no cut?
That is cut.
Oh, I feel like there's a very small
no,
number.
there was talk about
I thought there's
Nicholas and his thoughts on a cut. You might be on. It's possible there might. I think there's a cut, but there was some talk about whether does he like a cut. Nicholas says he likes a cut.
Yeah, you gotta love a cut.
Nicholas was talking about back in his day they had a cut, and even if you made the cut, if you were in the bottom end of the standings, you still made no money.
He had to be a beast. That's why he's probably
He
going
was
back
a
to those
beast.
old roots.
He was he's really a great champion.
Yeah, and wait to see this course. It is tremendous. It's so sick. Middle in Ohio. Just
We got
cool.
that one. What hole was the shot that chip shot that Tiger hit? That no one
Yeah,
could stop the ball. Was it 17 or 18?
Yeah, it was one of the last two holes. That was a sick clip.
He's
I
got
saw
a
that
ton of
TikTok
highlights at
today.
this course.
What, John?
What's that?
He's got a ton of highlights at this course.
Oh yeah, he's won it a bunch of times.
He's won it like 6 times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm right, he won it in.
The other guy, what's Adam Scott's odds?
You like Adam Scott?
I'm gonna go with Hatton and Scott.
50-1.
I put a team together with those two guys. See what you can come up with. You probably get some good Hatton and Scott.
The only problem is they're very, very popular picks this week.
Scott?
Scott is very popular.
Guy can't putt. That's his problem.
Adam Scott?
Not,
You would have Sahith this week at 55.
What's that?
Sahith, Theegala, 55.
That's pretty good numbers. He's such a third and fourth round player. He's a slow starter.
Mm-hmm. John, more than I'm thinking about it, I think that 30 number on Thomas is pretty solid.
I've never, like I was saying to Jacob earlier,
Yeah, 30.
JT and Ricky Fowler are pretty much the same number. I didn't think I'd ever see another day like that. I've never seen JT higher than like 25 in my life. I mean, not my life, but it's interesting. He's
How
really.
about Sungjae this week?
I think you can't trust Sungjae to win it.
Sanjay every week.
I guess like a top 10 is.
That should be his nickname every week.
Yeah. No, I think Sungjae is going to bounce back. I went back. Sungjae at the Schwab, he lost 5 on approach. I went back to the last time he's lost that much on approach. Next week, he finished T5. I think he's going to bounce back. One guy who I like, a low-key guy who I think is going to make the cut, he's a crazy long shot. His name is Chris Gotterup. Plays very well on the Korn Ferry Tour, went to Rutgers. He's from Jersey. He goes to Parker House all the time.
How did he get it?
Very good player.
He got an exemption?
Yeah, he's a very good Chris Gotterup.
All right, we'll keep our
DFS
eyes on him.
6,200.
Because he goes to Parker House.
Dude, this guy. I listened to a golf podcast, and last year, they started talking about Chris Gotterup, and one of the guys he was interviewing was like, "Oh yeah, I saw Gotterup at Parker House 2 days in a row." So Parker House lives like in Belmar during the summer, so he's gonna want to go back to Belmar with some, maybe some cash, maybe
some hardware.
Maybe some hardware. Chris Gotterup.
Chris Gotterup.
Yeah.
Chris Gotterup next Saturday live at DJ's.
Let's find him there. He goes down the shore all the time. But yeah, that's the Memorial this week.
Yeah. What tournament starts tomorrow? Game 1 starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley Cup.
No.
Come on.
No, can't do that. But yeah, that's really the only sports.
Then
right
we
now.
got 1 week. We got a dead week in between the Memorial and the U.S. Open.
Correct.
Or is it 2 weeks?
No, it's 1 week. The U.S. Open's Father's Day weekend. So we got this weekend, Next weekend's a dead weekend. Then we got Father's Day weekend.
And we'll have a U.S. Open pod, but I'm just putting it out there. Bryson DeChambeau. That's my pick to win.
The U.S. Open.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Don't bet too much on it.
We'll go over some U.S. Open stuff next week. I mean, me and Jacob were talking about the scorecard.
It's crazy.
Today.
Why?
It's wild.
The number 7 and 11 is like over 260 yards par 3.
Those are nice.
It's a 290-yard par 3 on the course.
Bryson will hit a 7-iron.
You would probably go up and down for par, right?
What? How much?
Let's say 260 par 3.
Half hit driver. No problem.
I would hit 5 iron.
I'm fine with a driver. I'm not afraid to hit driver on a par 3.
But what is cool? You got so the LACC, the front 9, 3 par 3s, 2 par 2, 2 par 5s, and then par 4s, par 35, and then the back's a pretty traditional 1 par 5 and 2 par 3s. What is nice though is I think it's like the 15th or 16th hole. It's like a little 120-yard par 3.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a sick course, but we'll do a preview on that coming up soon. NBA Finals Memorial this week. Jam-packed this weekend.
All right.
But yeah, that's all we have here, folks. Another
All right,
edition.
Pick
Handicap
things
sports.
up. Yeah, NBA and PGA. Go ahead, Jacob. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's all good.
Give your send off.
We'll see you folks next week. Episode 18 next week. Like we said, sorry about the hiatus last week. Had some things to do. Had some, obligations to fill, but that's past us. But now,
Good. It makes people a little hungry.
Exactly.
A lot of people come up to you.
Yeah.
Hey, where were you last week? What happened?
Exactly. And now we're filming this one at 1 a.m. So you folks better be, ready to lock in here.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's it. Memorial NBA Finals this weekend. We'll see you folks next week. Peace.
All right, boys.